Morning, everyone. Good morning, people. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, everyone is doing well. You know what? If you're not doing well, drop me an email with your number. I'll give you a call. Hopefully, I can cheer you up a bit. If you're not doing too well, just drop me an email, and let's have a good old chinwag. Why not, eh? Why not? All right, let's quickly talk. Again, I'm filming this just before work, and I've got to go and have a shower. All right, let's quickly talk this issue with, it's not even an issue, to be fair. I think it's all done and dusted. This top-ranked Terence Crawford, Bob Arum situation. I say done and dusted. I don't mean it's sorted. I mean Terence Crawford is out the building. I think that's already done, and I think that's why Bob is talking the way Bob's talking. For those of you that don't know what I'm saying, Bob has said a few things about Terence Crawford in the last week or so, since the Kell Brook fight, saying Terence Crawford loses in money. He doesn't make any money when Terence Crawford fights. He's out of the Terence Crawford business. He's out of the not making money business. So I guess that means Terence Crawford is done with Top Rank. His contract officially ends, I think it's next year, October. But the hope for all of us Terence Crawford boxing fans, is that Bob Arum allows him to walk away from the contract, so we can, if Errol Spence wins, get an Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight. I know I'm looking too far in the future, but we're not that far off it. We're not that far off it. Should Errol Spence come through Danny Garcia, and Bob say, all right, let go. All right, we're not going to re-up, go. Then there is a good chance we could get that in the spring. That's the chance. Even if I'm Bob, I know, look, it's ESPN's blah, 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 but if I'm Bob, look, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford will be on pay-per-view. I would let Errol Spence cross the road and do that fight on PBC. I would just let him do it and, be part of it. Be part of the promotion. And you say you don't make any money out of Terence Crawford. This could be the fight where you do make your money. So I would let him go across the road and fight Errol anyway, regardless of the situation. With regards to, because I've seen a few people say things like, Bob's a promoter and promoters should promote the fighters. That's how it is. The fighters get in the ring, the promoters do their job. That doesn't work like that. And I think we all know that. So let's just stop being silly. Promoters are there to promote. Yes, absolutely. But it doesn't mean the fighters can't promote as well. I mean, it doesn't. Some fighters don't need to promote, right? Some fighters have countries behind them. Like Manny Pacquiao doesn't need to promote, right? Everyone in the Philippines is behind him. Likewise, Canelo, right, in Mexico. But other fighters don't have that luxury. Other fighters do need to get out there and promote themselves. It's fact. There's only been about 3 or 4 fighters who, in the past sort of, 15, 20 years, I think, that don't actually have to promote and regardless have just crazy fan bases. Pac-Man's obviously definitely one of them. Canelo, Miguel Cotto, these guys have countries behind them. Countries. But other people need to promote. Floyd had to promote. Floyd had to turn from pretty boy to money. Like, he had to do that, like almost like a WWE gimmick. He done that in order to promote. You've got to promote. And Terence Crawford doesn't promote himself. Doesn't do it at all. So I can understand why Bob is a bit frustrated. You know why Bob's even more frustrated? Because Bob sees Terence behind the scenes. So Bob sees way more than we see. I've always said that if you catch Terence slipping, like when he's been recorded and sometimes he doesn't know he's been recorded, there's a character in there. There's a character. And I'm guessing Bob sees that every single time. So he's probably thinking, why can't even 60% of this character cross over when he's on TV, when he's doing interviews, when we're prepping for the shows? Why can't he? And that's why Bob's frustrated. So, look, I think Bob's words were a bit silly. But look, Bob's, what is he, 90 years old? He's going to say what he wants to say, and that's that. So I do think his words are a bit silly, but I fully understand his frustration. Fully. I mean, I've seen Terence Crawford's sister, who I follow on Twitter, say some things as well, like you're supposed to promote and, Crawford was loyal. And again, I get all those things. I do, but Terence needs to have promoted himself a bit more. Needs to, man. Again, if you've got that following and you don't have to do it, then don't do it. Don't do it. But the richest boxer in the world, the pound for pound #1 in Floyd, had to do it. He had Bob. He had to do it. He had to start promoting himself because he realized that Just going in the ring and getting Bob to say a couple of things at a press conference wasn't gonna make him the money he was wanting. Wasn't gonna make him the hundreds and hundreds of millions. He done it himself. Conor McGregor, the richest MMA star of all time, has done it himself. Again, I'm not saying Terence should go that far, because those guys I think go a bit too far. But just show your character, and Terence has a lot of character and doesn't show it. But I guess on the flip side to that, regardless of all that shit, we will get, fingers crossed, we will get Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Please. I think that will be the big fight of 2021. It will be. Talking about big fights of 2020, obviously it was announced a couple of days ago now that Callum Smith will fight Canelo. I did a video about it. It's funny because Joe Gallagher's come out and said, look, 5 weeks ain't enough to prepare for Canelo. He's not happy about it, blah, blah, blah. But I spoke to Liam Smith yesterday on my show, and Liam was like, well, we've kind of been getting ready for 2 months. So they're ready. He's on weight. Again, it was a really good conversation with Liam Smith. Great to get him on. Shout out to Paul Reddy, who sorted that out for me. But yeah, great to get Liam Smith on. But they're confident. They're confident that Callum Smith's in great shape. Liam did say, though, that there's 2 things Liam said, actually. He said Callum has to get in the mindset ready for a big Canelo fight. Like what that is, more press, more this, more that. But he also said it could benefit Callum, the fact that there's going to be way less press, obviously, because this could be behind closed doors. So interesting fight, that one. And I do think it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight for both. Look, it's a tough fight for Callum Smith, obviously, but I think it's a bit of a tough fight for Canelo as well. I mean, this guy is, he's not over the hill, right? He's not old. He's not been beaten. He's not got wear and tear. He's as fresh as a daisy. And we always say that Canelo likes to pick his opponents. Well, he's picked someone that is fully fresh here. Maybe he's picking him based on the John Ryder performance. And if that's the case, then he might have made a mistake. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. All right, let's have a look of the news before we pack up and have a shower. Joe Joyce. I don't feel old. I will take Daniel Dubois' scalp. Yeah. Joe Joyce, what, 34, 35? Big fight for Joe. We'll talk about, it's a big fight for both, but it's obviously a bigger fight for Joe. Daniel Dubois can lose and come again because he's only, 22. Joe Joyce, I'm guessing, I haven't got time to check, but he's like 34, 35. So, yeah, he loses, and then that kind of fast track that they've been on is just halted, and it's a long, long way back. Long way back. So, yeah, it's a big fight for Daniel, but a huge fight for Dubois. It really is. I'm going to try and get Joe Joyce on my show, actually, today. As you're filming this, I'm going to try and get him. As you're watching this, so I'm just going to reach out somehow and see if we can get him on to talk about the fight. Dillian White, American British fans would love to see me knock Wilder out. It's an interesting fight, that one, you know. I'd still favour Deontay Wilder. I mean, Dillian White got knocked out in his last fight. I mean, I think we might have forgotten that. So I'd favour Deontay Wilder all day long. The only reason, obviously, this conversation's happening is because Deontay Wilder did say that if he can't get Fury, which I think he will get Fury, but if he can't get Fury, then he would like to fight either White, Usyk, and Ruiz, and a few others he mentioned. White's the one, right? That would be a good fight. I mean, especially if Povetkin don't recover in time, because there has been a lot of talk that Povetkin might not recover from this COVID situation he's got in time. Remember, they're supposed to fight, I think the rescheduled date's 30th of January, which is a long way away. So fingers crossed Povetkin recovers. If not, Deontay Wilder would be fun, right? Julio Cesar Chavez open to facing Gilberto Ramirez. What else we got? De La Hoya on Canelo. I've built a superstar. I should feel proud of that. He should. There's no, look, to have De La Hoya, who's a massive, massive name in sort of Mexico. Well, I'll say that, Mexican Americans, right? Yeah, he's definitely helped in the building of Canelo. Canelo isn't. It's weird because Joe Gallagher even said when he went to Mexico, and he was like, he thought Canelo would be a lot bigger in Mexico than he is. Canelo is obviously massive in Mexico, but I feel like he's more bigger with Mexican Americans rather than in Mexico. Does that make any sense? So yeah, to have De La Hoya, who's probably has the biggest fan base of Mexican Americans behind you, is a big push. So De La Hoya's definitely helped with that push. What else have we got here? A few people talking about Bob Arum's comments. There was a lot of talk, but it's not happening now. There was a lot of talk about Garcia Campbell possibly going on the Canelo Smith card, being on the undercard, which would have been big. Another thing that's big is that obviously if you sign up for the Zone, you get Canelo Smith for 195 or something. 195. Crazy. Crazy. That's good. Especially when you consider as well that obviously I signed up for that Premier Sports. I can't remember how much I paid. I think it was 11 quid for the Kell-Brook Crawford. But obviously I'm getting Garcia Spence as well. So both fights for a fiver or there or thereabouts. That's good going. Do you know what I mean? That is good going. And now Canelo Smith for 195. That's massive. Like Sky must be, man, that's big. But yeah, there was a lot of talk, about Garcia Campbell going on that fight card as well. It's not. Garcia Campbell's on a separate fight card. They're looking at December 26th, Boxing Day, which should be interesting. All right, anything else? 2 secs, peeps. Bellew warns that Callum Smith is the test of a lifetime for Canelo. Well, we'll see. Also, I don't know about that. I mean, he has been in some fights. Like Golovkin won. Fuck that, man. In fact, it's not the test of the life. Golovkin won was the test of a lifetime. I know it's different. Golovkin won. Like that. No. Golovkin won, mate. Was a test of a lifetime. Smith was definitely a test just because, again, long, rangy, big, strong, all those things you say. But Golovkin won was bigger. Errol Spence saying that he is the draw when it comes to fighting Terence Crawford, and he wants 60-40. I'll take it. Hopefully Terence can agree with it. Just take it. Like, fuck the ego, take it. Plus, to be fair, he will be bringing, if he beats Garcia, a couple of belts more. Sorry, 2 belts, right? Yeah, 2 belts to the ring, whereas Terence is bringing 1. He deserves a bit more. He deserves a bit more, it's true. What else have we got here? 2 seconds, peeps. I think that might be it. Is that it? I think that might be it. No, we're going to find something else. We're going to find something else because that's just too short. Tyson Fury, I'm 100 million% confident, obviously, that I can beat Anthony Joshua. Okay. Yeah. It's weird, yeah. I was watching. Like, he is just a natural born fighter, by the way, because he's not a natural athlete whatsoever. Like, he is just a fighter. Well, Anthony Joshua is the athlete. The reason I say that, I was watching Tyson Fury doing some pull-ups. I was like, jeez. You know what I mean? And I was watching him do some dips. I was like, he can't do any of this shit, can he? Like, I've seen him do weights and stuff, and I was thinking, this guy's just he's just a fighter. And that's what makes him so special, Tyson Fury. Like, he is a special boxer. He really is, because he can't tick the box doing anything else, right? But he can fight. He can fight. And he should be confident he can beat AJ, just because, again, he's not lost. So he's got that about him as well. He's not lost. He's been in there with supposedly the hardest punching boxer of all time and stood up to his punches. And when he wasn't able to stand up from his punches, he got knocked down and got up like The Undertaker. He's been in there against Klitschko. He's on top of the world right now. So yeah, there's no doubt that he should feel confident. But there's also no doubt in my mind that AJ has a chance. I don't know what chance. I'm actually having thinking about that. Like, what chance do I give AJ against Fury? I would say 35% chance. I think that's fair. I've removed my AJ hat, by the way. I think AJ has a 35% chance of beating Tyson Fury. I do. Let's see how AJ looks against Pulev, although that's a completely different opponent. But let's see how he looks against him. It looks like, and fingers crossed this is happening. I don't know if it's bullshit or not, to be fair. Hrgovic in conversations to get a fight on with Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter does have a fight coming up, but we're talking after that one. Although Michael Hunter has said that no contracts have been sent out, and it is just talk. It is just talk. All right, let's end on what a great year it's been for boxing, considering all the crap that boxing had to go through this year. I was just thinking, and I think I spoke about this before, but another name drop here. I was speaking to Spencer Oliver yesterday about it, again, on my show. I'm slowly but surely getting quite a lot of boxing content on my show, so I am turning it into a boxing show. I do cover a lot of things that maybe sports that you guys won't watch, like horse racing and cricket and golf, but there are times where they give me like a boxing special, like an hour just to talk boxing, and I do feel like I come out of my shell. But we were talking about, like, if you consider obviously how the year started, and it started with, let's not forget, in February it was Wilder Fury, and then it kind of just stopped, and then everything got cancelled. All the big fights got cancelled. Chisora Usyk got cancelled. Remember that AJ Pulev got cancelled. The rematch, or the trilogy fight, Wilder got cancelled. Wilder Fury, Teofimo Lopez Loma got cancelled. All those fights were supposed to happen in and around sort of April, May, June, July. The way boxing's been able to kind of kickstart and go again, even though it has been losing money, right? It has been losing money, has been fantastic. And we've had literally every big fighter, especially now with Callum Smith, Canelo, fight, apart from Wilder Fury. That's been the only thing that's been disappointing about this year. But other than that, it's been fantastic. We've had some fantastic fights as well. Some big upsets, right? I mean, Teofimo Lopez Loma was a big upset. But it's been a great year. And you have to applaud boxing, because I'm very negative on this channel sometimes regarding boxing, in terms of, like, where are the fights? Where are the fights? We've had some good fights. We've had some good fights. And I do feel like 2021, we're going to have even better fights, just because the boxers are going to be so fearful of the back end of 2020 and how it happened, and not fighting, and the money not coming in. I think a lot of fighters now are just going to take the big fights. I mean, I'm going to see promoters work with promoters. And I predict a fantastic 2021. I really do. I predict Estrada, Chocolatito. That's kind of going to happen, I think, anyway. But I think Crawford, Spence is going to happen. And I do honestly believe the back end of 2021, we're going to get the big one. And there's going to be fans. Wembley Stadium, AJ Fury. Peace.